Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there friends, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. I'm so glad you joined me. We're studying Psalm 18. That's one of my favorite Psalms. As a matter of fact, a little story about Psalm 18. When I was born again, I was attending a Christian high school. I had moved to that school when I was in the 11th grade. Came to know Christ through the ministry, partly through the ministry of that school. And at the graduation time for high school, everybody had to pick a life verse. I didn't know anything about life verses. That was kind of new to me. And I was asking some friends about it, and they were telling me what their life verse was and why, and they'd been Christians much longer than I had. And so I just went to the Lord and I began to pray, and I ended up in Psalm 18. And so Psalm 18 verses 1 and 2 was my life verse, and we had to quote our life verse at the graduation ceremony, so I had to memorize it. So one reason why I guess I love Psalm 18 so much is because it's been with me ever since then. I mean, literally since I came to Christ as a young man in my teenage years, Psalm 18 has been important to me. Here we are in Psalm 18. Near the end, we're today in 35 and 36, and we begin the In Praise of You number 2 section. So we have In Praise of You in 35 and 36, and then we have a little break. And we have this description of David's victory over the enemy. And then we come back to the In Praise of You section in 39 and 40. And we'll see some more about that on Friday when we get there. So you've given me the shield of your deliverance. By your right hand you support me, and your condescension makes me great. You have enlarged my steps under me, so that my ankles do not slip. So here's 35 and 36, and again, it begins the In Praise of You section. And so David now turns from the audience back to the Lord. In 31 through 34, he's talking to his audience. Who is God except the Lord? Who is the rock except our God? So he's talking to his audience. He girds me, he set me, he caused me, he teaches me, so forth. The he section there, and he's saying this to his audience. But now he turns away from them, and he's going to speak directly to the Lord again. You have. By your right hand, you will support me. Your condescension makes me great. So now we're praising the Lord again for all that he's done for the psalmist. So we have, you've given me the shield of your deliverance, your right hand, with your right hand, or by your right hand, you will support me. Your condescension makes me great. You have enlarged my steps under me, so that my ankles do not slip. That sounds a whole lot like verse 33, doesn't it? You've set my feet like hinds' feet, caused me to stand upon high places. Well, if my feet are like hinds' feet and I'm on high places, then I'm not going to slip, even though it's precarious. It looks that way. But he's given me now the ability to stand in a place that's precarious and yet be secure. So we come now to 34 or to 36. He's enlarged my steps under me. So even though the space is small, it feels like it's a large spot because I know I'm not going to slip. And the way I've translated this is, my ankles do not slip. Have you ever twisted your ankle? You kind of stepped on something. One part of the foot was on one thing and another part of the foot was on another. Oh, I twisted my ankle bad once doing that. Actually, several times in my life I've done that. And the ankle just goes one way and the leg goes another way, and you end up with a horrible sprain. Well, that's what David says here. I'm not going to get a sprain because I'm standing on a large place. There's no unevenness here. God has done this work. He's given me the shield of deliverance. He supports me. He makes me great. Now, tomorrow we're going to look at this little interlude here in 37 and 38, where David talks about his victory over the enemy. So join me then here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.